Alright, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my MLB DraftKings picks for Wednesday, September 20th. We got an 11-game main slate today on this Wednesday, so a lot of games to go over, a lot of players to look at, so let's go ahead and get started. Looking at pitcher today, up top we have two studs, two guys over 13K, Robbie Ray and Chris Sale. Both of them are definitely guys I'm going to be looking to roster today. I don't think you're obviously not going to be able to fit both of them in your lineup, so we'll have to take a stand. Chris Sale gets to face Baltimore, a team that does roll out a righty-heavy lineup, but definitely guys in their lineups that will strike out. And then Robbie Ray gets to face the Padres, obviously a really good matchup for Robbie Ray. But I don't think it makes a lot of sense to roster Robbie Ray for just 200 less than Sale. I just feel a lot more confident in Sale. Sale's a guy I've rostered all year, rarely disappoints. And I'm definitely not saying that Robbie Ray is a bad pitcher by any means. But 13K, I don't think I can pay 13K for Robbie Ray when I can just get Chris Sale for just 200 more. Chris Sale, like I said, a guy I just feel a lot more confident in. A guy that we know has a ton of upside every time he steps on the mound. I definitely think Robbie Ray is a good contrarian GPP option. I would imagine he's going to be low owned today since he's priced up there with Chris Sale. And Ray could possibly outscore Sale. Ray has pitched really well lately, and it obviously is a really good matchup. So I definitely like Robbie Ray, but if we're just looking at overall projection, I think Chris Sale probably comes out the top scorer on this slate. So I am going to be plugging him in as my SP1. Like I said, Baltimore, they will roll out a righty-heavy lineup, but if you look at Chris Sale's splits this year, he actually has a higher strikeout rate versus righties. On the year versus righties, he's striking them out 37% of the time, and versus lefties, he's only striking lefties out 30.2%. And this Orioles offense, they will roll out a righty-heavy lineup. Only one lefty in their projected lineup, and that's Chris Davis. And other than Davis, all righties in this lineup. Definitely guys that will strike out, especially versus a guy like Chris Sale. They are going to really struggle against Chris Sale. A lot of them have struggled against Sale in the past. Chris Davis is 2 for 15. Craig Gentry's 2 for 11. Adam Jones is 4 for 20. Caleb Jost is 2 for 12. And a lot of these guys have struck out a lot versus Sale as well. So it is a really good matchup for Sale. I'm not really worried about the Baltimore offense. I think Sale can definitely mow through this team. Sale can pretty much mow through any team. And he has pitched well against this Baltimore team this year. He's actually faced them twice. And in those two games, he's got 20 strikeouts. So he's averaging 10 strikeouts a game versus Baltimore. I think Sale's probably the better option here at 13,200. But if you are looking for a contrarian option for GPPs, that's going to be definitely lower owned. Do consider Robbie Ray at 13K. But I think if we're talking cash games, I think Sale's probably the better option just because he has a higher floor. And Sale definitely has the most upside out of any pitcher going today. So Chris Sale, my SP1 at 13,200. And then SP2, since we paid up for Sale, obviously going to need a cheaper guy. There is one guy I like in the 7K range that I can pair with Sale. That still leaves me some decent salary. And that's Dinelson Lamet at 7,700 going up against the Diamondbacks. I really like this spot for Dinelson Lamet, just given his price tag and the matchup. Arizona, definitely a good offense, but they do struggle at times outside of Chase Field. And it's obviously going to be a park downgrade for them, having to travel to San Diego, where Dinelson Lamet has pitched very well this year. Through 9 games in San Diego, Lamet has averaged 21 DraftKings points, whereas on the road he's only averaged 15. So I think Lamet's a really good option here. The guy's just been really consistent as of late. 17, 26, 21, and 17 DraftKings points in his last 4 games. So Lamet has been consistent lately, and this guy definitely has upside. He will strike people out. In his game against the Dodgers just a few weeks ago, put up 10 strikeouts against the Dodgers. So Lamet definitely has the potential to rack up some Ks. There are guys in this Arizona lineup that will strike out. So I think Lamet's a good option that you can pair with Chris Sale. And that still leaves you 36, 37 remaining per player, which I think we can work around today. There are a couple cheap one-offs that I like that we can definitely pair with Sale and Lamet. So I'm going to be rolling with these two guys as my pitchers today. And then for my 3 bats, the first guy I like is at second base. Very cheap play here is Whit Merrifield for just 3,300 going up against Brett Anderson. I think Whit Merrifield makes a lot of sense if you are playing Chris Sale today. He is a very good cheap option at second base for just 3,300. Going up against a lefty in Brett Anderson. Merrifield does hit lefties very well, and Brett Anderson has struggled to righties this year. So far to righties, he's allowed a 362 WOBA. He's also given up a lot of hard contact to righties this year. 41.6% medium contact, and 36.8% hard contact. So I do like the spot for some of these Royals bats, and they are very, very cheap. All of them are under 4K, so a lot of value in this Royals lineup. And I don't think Brett Ederson, not a very good pitcher in my opinion, so I do like some of these Royals bats. And I think Whit Merrifield makes a lot of sense. If you're just looking for a cheap second base play, obviously if you play Sale today, you're going to need some value hitters. Whit Merrifield, 3,300. Definitely think he is a good cheap option we can target that we can pair with Sale. I think this guy's way better than just 3,300, and especially versus a lefty. Merrifield does hit lefties very well. In KC, they're also going to be getting a nice park upgrade going to Toronto's ballpark, a very hitter-friendly park. So I like some of these Royals bats, and I will be looking to get exposure to their offense today with Whit Merrifield for just 3,300. And then my final two plays are going to be in the outfield, mid-tier guy, and then a value play I like, both from the Astros. Going up against James Shields, definitely going to be picking on James Shields today. The first guy I like from the Astros is Josh Reddick at just 4,200. Like I said, going up against James Shields. I really like this spot for some of these Astros bats. James Shields, not really a good pitcher, really struggles to lefties. This Astros team have one of the highest totals. I actually believe they do have the highest total on the slate. Right now, their implied team total is at 6.1 runs, which is just insanely high. But it's definitely for a good reason. James Shields has been pretty bad this year. So far to lefties, he has allowed a 394 WOBA on the year to left-handed hitters. And he will also give up a ton of home runs to lefties, a 3.02 home run per 9 on the year to left-handed hitters. And it only has a 16.9% K rate versus lefties. So Shields doesn't strike anybody out, and he gives up home runs. And he also gives up a lot of hard contact as well, 44.4% medium contact and 33.7% hard contact. So I love these spots for some of these Astros bats. They are relatively cheap from what we normally see some of these guys. George Springer's under 5K. He's only 4.9. Tuve's pretty expensive. He's 5K. But guys like Correa, Marlon Gonzalez. Correa has really struggled as of late, but wouldn't be surprised to see him get things going here against James Shields. I like him at 4.6. Like I said, Marlon Gonzalez is only 4.1. Bregman, 3.9. So definitely some cheap bats here. They do have a really high total at 6.1 runs. Definitely think some runs are going to be scored in this game. So I do like Josh Reddick at 4,200. Looking to get some exposure to the Astros against a pretty bad pitcher. I think Reddick's a good option at 4,200. And I forgot to mention as well, Reddick has some nice BVP against James Shields. I'll pull it up real quick. I believe it is a decent sample size as well. Yeah, he's seen James Shields 22 times, and then 22 at-bats against Shields. Josh Reddick has 7 hits, and 3 of those hits were home runs, so he's 7 for 22 against Shields with 3 home runs, batting a .318 average. So that's just the cherry on top. Josh Reddick, a good spot here against a pretty bad right-handed pitcher that struggles to lefties. And Reddick has hit Shields well in the past, so I think he makes a lot of sense. Looking for a mid-range play in the outfield, I like him at 4,200. And then my final play, getting some more exposure to the Astros. Very cheap bat I like is Carlos Beltran at just 3,400, obviously going up against James Shields. I actually really like Carlos Beltran here, going up against the righty who, like I said, really struggles to left-handed bats. And I love the fact that Beltran's just 3.4K. You give me a guy this cheap, getting some exposure to a team that has a 6-run total, I will definitely take that. So I do like Beltran here. He will be batting from his left side, where Beltran has had more success throughout his career. Definitely bats better from his left. So I also really like him. Looking to get more exposure to the Astros today. I think Carlos Beltran in a really good spot. I doubt people will look to him because people just don't really want to roster Beltran. He's old. He doesn't really do much. But this guy still does have some decent power and could definitely take James Shields deep. So I like Carlos Beltran from the Astros, looking to get more exposure to their offense. I like him in the outfield for some value at 3,400. And yeah, guys, so these are my 5 plays for tonight. I went with Chris Sale, Dinelson Lamet, Whit Merrifield, Josh Reddick, and Carlos Beltran. When we plug these 5 guys in our lineup, we're still left with 3,640 remaining per player, which is a little low, but I definitely think you can work around that. Catcher is a position I'm probably going to be looking to punt today. Not really seeing a ton of expensive catchers I want, so definitely think you can punt catcher. And that should definitely free up some salary for you to where you can build a lineup around this core of 5 players. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you drop a like on the video, and be sure to subscribe as well. If you guys missed it, I did upload my NFL video for Week 3. I will leave a link to it down in the description. Make sure you check that out if you did miss it. I went through every position: quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, defense. Gave some of my favorite plays at each position for this Week 3 slate. So be sure to check that video out if you did miss it. I will leave a link to it down in the description. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Like I said, be sure to like the video and be sure to subscribe as well. And also cut on notifications so that way you'll never miss out on any new videos. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.
Oh, sauce it down, sauce it up. You too much, ain't enough, ain't enough. Where you from? Throw it out, going nuts, yeah, going down. Oh, sauce it down, sauce it up. You too much, ain't enough.